And so if you look at 5G in its essence as an architecture, I mean, this is all about defining open ecosystem that allow on the one side to create economy of scale, and on the other side, basically to drive more innovation across an ecosystem of partners. So the first area, and that ties very well with the discussion about security, the first area where actual ecosystem is being defined is open radio. That's probably disrupting the profit pool of classical radio setup, but we believe it's something that is happening at a faster pace than even expected.
Hi, this is Jim Hodges, Chief Analyst at Heavy Reading. And today I'm here with Paolo Campoli, who is the Head of Service Provider at Cisco. So Paolo, maybe you can tell me a little bit about what's happening. There's been a lot of things happening in the enterprise space in terms of a security perspective. Maybe you can just tell me some of the trends you've seen that have really sort of developed over the last part of the year.
Sure. Well, I think in enterprise, security has been top of the agenda for many years, right? I mean, security, vulnerability, attacks are nothing new. What is changing now are probably three things. One is many of the enterprises, they want to reduce complexity. So they start moving to something which looks more like an architecture rather than a puzzle of multiple vendor components, simply because security is becoming instrumental to their success, and they need to have an architectural approach to drive consistency, simplicity, and automation. That's one trend. The other trend for enterprises is getting ready for 5G. They understand 5G is coming. They understand 5G can be complementary to what they have in-house, can be transformative, whatever. 5G is going to expand what we call the security surface of attack, and they want to be ready. And they want to be ready, and that's a third trend, in a way that is as much as possible simple to design, to operate, to do the pre, during, and after attack. So these are the three trends, if you like.
And based on those trends, how is that sort of impacting sort of the managed service market? Obviously, managed security services is a large part of helping enterprises get ready for some of these trends. What's sort of the changes, or what's really driving some of these new security services from your perspective?
Sure. I think there is an overall quest for simplicity on the one side, and on the other side for evidence that our operations, when we think about information technology and operating technologies in enterprise, both IT and operating technologies are protected. So give me something simple, give me something that works both across IT and OT, and something that is automatically updated as the complexity of security evolves. So for service providers, when you think about service providers offering connectivity and connectivity plus and evolved connectivity to enterprise and small medium enterprise, I mean, security becomes probably the easiest service to sell on top of connectivity, because they can design a network today which has inherent security, built-in security, that creates the first line of defense for enterprises. For the enterprise CIO, that's peace of mind. That means the network takes care of most of the security protection, first line of defense, sorry. And for service provider, that becomes an ARPU increase with a very straightforward value proposition on top of connectivity. And that's probably one of the key mega trends we see there, connecting both enterprise and service providers.
Interesting. And I guess the upside of that is, from an enterprise perspective, from that enterprise customer, it allows them to really sort of seamlessly move into new markets quickly. And from a service provider side, it allows them sort of upsell these services as their customers are kind of growing the market. Is that also an important part of it?
Exactly. As enterprise go through the full digitization of their processes, and as digital processes become integral part of their production factory, of the operating technologies, they expect security to be one of the key pillars, right? So when they consider what a service provider can offer to them as connectivity spreads into operating technology, they do expect the service provider to come with inherent security, and that's becoming, like I said, a meet in the middle, which is quite a great opportunity for both service provider and for enterprises.
And then underlying security in terms of inherent network security, is it an open architecture? No, by definition. I mean, the threat intelligence behind proper security is about how you take feeders from multiple contributors and start populating your threat intelligence in a truly open environment. So that's about ecosystem and partnership. Now, we believe, and I'll close there and go to more interactive discussion. We believe security in 5G, which is touching those 4 points I mentioned, is also probably the first 5G use case that can be immediately monetized, right? There is a quest for 5G monetization use cases. Where are enterprise spending? Well, most likely, if you look at where the large amount of GDP is created in Europe, which is small, medium business, and you look at the appetite of SMB for native security built into the network, that becomes quite often the straightforward use case.
So I think it's fair to say that security from a service provider side is an opportunity, and for enterprises, it's also a way for them to enter new markets. But the reality is of the world we live in, the threat landscape, the threats, the number of threat vectors we're facing, it's continuing to rise, and I don't expect that it'll really change over the next couple of years. But I'm just wondering, are enterprises kind of seeing that they're going to have sort of a stabilization of the number of threats they're going to face, or will this continue to increase because they're getting into new markets with IoT devices?
Yeah.
Is the escalation curve going to continue at the pace it's a pretty strong pace over the last couple of years, do you think?
Yeah, what they see and what we see as well is that escalation, security attacks, and cyber attacks will continue to grow for multiple reasons. One is that by nature of connectivity everywhere, you have many more endpoints connected. You have many more endpoints that can be, if not properly protected, source of vulnerability. The fact of pushing compute to the edge, it means quite often you start having a wider surface of attack. I think the expectation, though, is that an architectural approach will keep things consistent, and so will make the security, the security posture way more credible on the one side. That the service providers will come with something embedded in their network, and that will play in the direction of simplicity. But also that we discuss a lot about artificial intelligence. In reality, if you look behind what's running a solution like Cisco Umbrella as an example, there is a huge threat intelligence machine behind that takes symptoms, analyzes DNS requests, it takes signatures, it takes every sort of evidence of what's going on, to the point where artificial intelligence can allow to start understanding whether something is going down the wrong path in terms of security, ring-fencing and creating the first line of defense in a way that is continuously updated and automated.
Okay. Yeah, interesting. And I think, like you said, that's kind of the future. A lot of this automation is going to provide a lot of value both for the service providers who are selling the managed services, but also the enterprises to kind of help them be able to understand service provider profiles, the services that they're using, and also the threat levels as well. So yeah,
Absolutely.
very interesting discussion, Paolo. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.